Hello there, and welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Jacob, and thank you so much for joining this lecture on Pokemon biology. Of course, with me here today in the classroom is my wonderful teaching assistant, Mr. Curtis. Say hello to everybody, Mr. Curtis.
Oh, okay, good. Woo! This time I am here, and I am ready to party. And by party, I mean listen intently and take copious notes and dictations from your lessons, Professor.
And if that's not a party, I don't know what is.
That sounds like the worst party I've ever heard of.
That's
that
my
sounds
favorite
like
party.
every party I've ever been to.
That was
we
actually
call them
that's what
note-taking parties.
That's what I did on my birthday. That was my birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Just coming to class.
Yeah.
Really? Of all the things that you could have done on your birthday, however old you are, you could you sat around and took notes? Okay. I mean, whatever. Sounds boring to me, but when I party, I
when
get
you say
wild.
when you say it like sat around and took notes, then yeah, it's gonna sound boring, Corbin.
How do you
by the way,
make
this is our
note-taking
trainer.
sound fun?
This is our trainer in training, Corbin. Here.
Hi.
He's a 10-year-old,
guys,
so he doesn't really understand
look.
much about the world.
No, I understand. I might be 10, but I
He's still
understand
learning.
about.
He's still
there's
learning.
one thing. No, I know. I've learned. There's one
He
thing
just
that I
learned how
know.
to use the bathroom properly.
That's not really
That's true.
true.
He's not a poo-poo pants boy anymore.
I've been peeing for years correctly. Now,
Constantly, nonstop.
no.
You might
Now,
wanna get that
what
looked
I'm
at.
saying is, I know how to party better than anyone. And you guys,
really?
you need next time I have a birthday, whatever that may be, I'm gonna let you guys come to my party, and we're gonna kick it. We're gonna have juice. We're gonna have chips. We're gonna have people impersonating Mr. Mimes. We're gonna have.
God,
it's gonna be
no.
great.
Actual Mr. Mime.
Well, not actual Mr.
Yeah,
Mimes.
how
We gotta
can you
keep it
tell
on
the
a budget.
difference?
Well, I mean, that's true. We got to keep it on a budget, though. We're gonna have Spheals playing with balls. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a
have
wild
seals
time.
playing with Spheals as if they are balls.
Yes, and Walrens playing with seals, playing with Spheals that are playing with balls. It's gonna be a whole cascade of just these aquatic Pokemon just playing with each other. It's gonna be a great time. That's a party, not note taking. Let me tell you. That sounds fun.
I mean, it sounds
do
like
it.
a lot. It sounds like a lot of work to me. Not like getting to sit down and just eagerly take down some notes on some new and exciting information on Pokemon biology, which is what we're here to do today. So,
I tell you what we could do. Yeah, we could set up a Pokemon gladiatorial fighting rink, and we could put some extra Pokemon in there and just
do you
see
mean
how
just
they
the
face off
Pokemon
against
League in
each other.
general?
Yeah, but like untrainer prompted. Okay, just
Wild feral Pokemon.
wild caught, never pokeballed wild Pokemon. Throw them in a ring, see how it goes down. That's right. See who comes out the victor.
I don't know if that's authorized by the league federation.
Also, I don't think it would be all that interesting, to be honest. I mean, I guess it depends on what Pokemon you throw in there, but if you throw in like a Caterpie and I don't know, like a Charizard or something, the Caterpie is just gonna hide. It's not gonna do anything.
That's true.
It's gonna be boring. That's a bad idea, Mr. Curtis.
Yeah,
That's
bad
a
idea.
bad idea.
Bad idea.
I'm
You know what?
sorry.
No
I'm
more-
taking,
no
I'm
more
taking
from you
10,
today.
10 points away from Mr. Curtis.
Oh.
So now you
give
have,
some to me.
what, 19,850, I think?
Something like that.
I'm not really keeping score anywhere. I should write that down. But that's something for future Professor Jacob. Current Professor Jacob is here to teach you guys about Pokemon biology. Does anybody know what Pokemon that we're talking about today? As I'll give you a hint, free of charge. We learned about Venonat last week.
Oh, Venofree.
No, you're combining the name of the Pokemon that we're learning and Butterfree.
Oh, damn it.
So you know what, Veno for free. That's free for you.
Venofree.
Venofree.
No,
Veno Apple. Veno Bath. Veno Top. Veno Butt. Veno Wing.
so you're taking
Venofly.
Veno Goth. Veno.
Oh wait,
Toth,
you know what? That's close enough. That's close enough.
Veno Hoth. Veno Joth. Veno Zoth. Veno Yoth. Veno.
Yeah. Just get through all the letters and you'll eventually get there.
Venonoth.
Venonoth. That's it with an N. Right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, Not quite. You were one letter off, so I'm counting this as a win. You're better than you normally are. We're learning about Venomoth. The Poison Moth Pokemon.
Yes.
And it's the evolved form of Venonat. They don't really look related at all. But, whatever. Evolution's weird, guys.
Hey, who knows? It's a strange one.
Normally, I would let you see the Pokemon, but I've decided against bringing in Venomoth into the classroom.
Well, that's okay.
For obvious reasons, I think. We're gonna learn. Venomoth is very similar to Butterfree, in that when it flaps its wings, it kills everybody.
Oh, on purpose, or?
Oh. Okay.
I mean, I guess it's a defense mechanism. Although, going off of the Pokedex entries, it's not clear whether or not it can do it on command, but it doesn't seem like it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's frightening. Glad we don't have it in here today.
And I'm glad that you're taking this well. You were very vocal about your distastes when I didn't bring in a Butterfree.
Listen to me. Class. Listen. I had a feeling this was gonna happen. So I just looked up pictures of Venomoth before I came in. So
I know what you're saying.
And I still somehow forgot the name of what we were talking about today.
I did actually, in lieu of bringing in the Pokemon, I did print out and laminate a picture of a Venomoth to hand out. So here's one for you, Mr. Curtis, and here's one for you, Corbin.
Thank you.
Yes. So if you could just take a look at that,
I'm
study
looking at it. Okay.
And tell me anything noticeably different about a Venomoth?
Everything. It looks very different.
Well, no, it's purple. Venonat was also purple.
Well, this is more of a fuchsia, if you will, like the city.
I guess, but fuchsia is just purple.
Well,
does it have any legs, Professor?
It has 6 little tiny legs all wrapped up next to its chest.
Oh, in the picture you sent, I thought those were its ribs just poking out.
But what about the little gripplers? What about the little gripplers that Venonat had?
Didn't carry over.
Or they turned into they turned into those legs. I think that's what happened, probably.
Yeah, I think what happened was its feet turned into its wings.
That makes sense.
Which is a horrifying thing to witness happening.
Whoa, the feet turned into the wings.
That's evolution for you,
and
baby.
then the antenna on its head, on Venonat's head, kind of turned into this weird, like 3-pronged skull thing that Venomoth has.
That actually looks kind of cool. Looks like a little crown. It's a power move, really.
I don't like how its eyes are, though.
Yeah, its eyes aren't quite as cutesy as Venonat's, but that's okay.
They definitely don't match. They definitely don't match Venonat's eyes.
No, they really don't.
What happened to the intense compound eyes that shoot lasers?
I don't know. I guess they just merged into one. It seemed like it would be like a bad thing because then it loses its radar vision and its ability to shoot like crazy beams out of its eyes.
Is there another evolutionary reason we're going to learn as to why it did that, or like any effects for having better eyes now? Like,
interesting question there, Corbin. I say let's go ahead and start reading these Pokedex entries and find out.
All right. Well, goodbye, Venomoth. Oh, sorry. I'm so used to saying that.
I know. Oh. It's here. I can throw a Pokeball, an empty Pokeball, and make it seem like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Throw it at my laminate right here.
Yeah. Here. Okay, I'm gonna catch that Venonat.
Oh, bye, Venonat. I hate acting. This isn't fun. All right, just get on with the lesson.
Yeah, I'm a terrible actor.
This isn't the same. We want Venomoth.
There it is. There's the rebel that I know him.
You know what?
This is what I expected from the beginning.
I lied. At first, I thought I was okay with it, and then I realized, wow, Venomoth is a cool-looking Pokemon. I want to learn more. Why can't we see it in person?
Because it will kill you.
Oh, my God. I've wanted to die for years. Come on.
All right,
we saw Butterfree outside.
Outside, right?
Okay, fine.
And now it's winter. It's too cold outside.
Oh, my God. Okay,
man.
Fine. Fine.
Yeah, the seasons here in Kanto are really weird.
Yeah.
I know, can't you tell? Just listen to those Delibirds out there chucking presents around.
You hear that?
Yeah.
So cold.
That's rough. That's funny. It was sunny and 80 yesterday. I don't understand what's happening here.
What
Maybe
can I
it's
say?
climate change.
Global climate change.
Yep, it's happening. It's real.
Maybe there's a cast form on the loose.
Either that or Groudon and Kyogre are fighting again, and it's causing.
I wish they would see a counselor or something.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wish
fight.
They'd go to couples therapy.
Yeah, because they're changing the entire climate of the planet if they're fighting, and that's what's causing this.
Okay, which would you guys prefer? A planet completely water or a planet completely land? Which would you prefer?
Oh God.
I'd say land.
I would say land because water, you just have to swim forever. Water might work. What's that town? There's a town in Hoenn that's all built on the water.
You're right. I can't remember what it's called.
Can't remember what it's called, but that could work. It's possible, but where would you get the supplies to build it?
Let me look it up on my Rotom laptop.
But where would you get the supplies to build this? So I guess land would be better, but then rainfall, you could just make little puddles of water. So I'm gonna go with land. So Groudon for the win.
There's no more water. If it's all land, there's no more water at all.
Well, either way, we die.
Yeah. Do you want to die drowning in water or of thirst? Which would you prefer?
I don't like this class anymore. This is too metal for me to handle. I don't like it. I'm scared. I'm gonna call my mom. I don't want to talk about dying in the class. I want to be able to almost die by seeing a Pokemon in person. That's what I want. Okay?
Yeah, that's the true nature of the Pokemon world and Pokemon classrooms is almost dying, seeing
constantly.
I'm still trying to find this town. Pacifilog. It's Pacifilog. That's the one.
Pacifilog.
I
Yeah.
can't believe I forgot.
Never been
Jeez.
there.
I did. Though. I pulled out my world atlas and I looked into the Hoenn region and found it. It's Pacifilog.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, hey, I'm going to read some Pokedex entries here, because that is, in fact, my job. All right, starting off in the Kanto region, for Venonat, Venomoth, sorry, very similar names. The dust-like scales covering its wings are color-coded to indicate the kinds of poison it has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's very thoughtful.
Yeah. So it's interesting that it says dust-like scales, which is a weird... It's a weird kind of description of it because, I guess I'll read the next one and it kind of explains a bit more. The powdery scales on its wings are hard to remove. They also contain poison that leaks out on contact.
So you do have to contact those wings.
The scales on the wings.
Right.
Okay, so the scales on the wings are a different color depending on how potent its poison is?
What kind of poison?
What kind of poison?
Yeah.
So Venomoths have different types of poisons.
Supposedly.
Okay.
I think it's only 2 different types.
Okay.
So the scales, now they're powdery scales, all right? So they're scales covered in powder.
Right.
And they contain poison in the scale
inside.
That will leak out if you touch it.
Okay.
Right? Okay. The last one here for the Kanto region says the powder on its wings is poisonous.
Ooh.
It scatters the powder with every flap, so you may be poisoned if you are downwind.
Oof.
All right, so now we got poisonous scales that leach out poison if you touch them, and powder
wings.
that's also poisonous.
Oh, okay. So poisonous.
But
powder
I thought you said it was hard to remove, but now you're saying that it removes it with every flap.
The powdery scales on its wings are hard to remove. The scales are hard to remove, but the powder flies off with every flap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's 2 different components to a Venomoth's wings, right? It's the at least that we're interested in. Scales and powder. Okay. Powder is on the scales. Scales are hard to remove, but the powder flies off very easily.
Right. And it just keeps replenishing it, I assume.
I guess so. I don't really know how. Okay, let's get some more information here. Let's move on to the Johto region. When it attacks, it flaps its large wings violently to scatter its poisonous powder all around.
Ooh.
Oof.
Yeah.
Like a whirlwind of poison.
It seems very indiscriminate. It's like, oh man, there's a baddie here, but I'm just going to poison and kill everything around me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's a little careless. That's a little careless of Venomoth, I'd say.
Is
it's
it
not
though?
very... Yeah, a little bit.
Butterfree literally did the exact same thing.
Butterfree is a tiny baby boy that doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah,
Butterfree and Venomoth are the same size.
But buttery fly, is so sweet, and everybody loves them.
Wow.
And their little hands.
Does
Venonat have little gripplers? No.
Nope.
Well, yes, it does. It does have hands.
Don't
Venomoth,
trust those rib-looking hands. Don't trust them.
I mean, Venomoth. Venomoth doesn't have any gripplers.
Yeah, I would
trust
prefer
them.
to be hugged by a Butterfree than a
I know.
Venomoth.
See, that's what I'm saying. Butterfree is more of a trustworthy Pokemon. I mean, you remember
What?
Butterfree?
No.
You remember Butterfree? Butterfree
yes,
would
I
never
recall.
hurt us, except for the
That's
time that he did, and we passed out by the tree outside. But that's beside the point. Look, Butterfree, I'll trust any day. And when he poisons people, he does it out of love.
or an accident.
Sure.
Okay, the next one here in the Johto region says, the powder on its wings is poisonous if it is dark in color. If it is light, it causes paralysis.
Okay. Good to
Okay.
know. Good to know.
So dark or
Good to know.
light.
So if it's dark, it's poison, and if it's light, it's paralysis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I guess poison just kind of like hurts you, I guess, if you breathe it in, and then paralysis does what,
Probably too much will kill you, for human at least, maybe.
yeah, or at least internal bleeding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
you're coughing up blood for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah, you're coughing up blood and peeing everywhere. It's great.
and sharding all over the place.
God, yeah.
All right,
Just you lose total control of your body.
all of
Yeah.
your bodily.
That's like me when I party. Woo! Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think I'm gonna deny going to your birthday party then, Corbin. Sounds awful.
All right, that's rude.
All right, the last one here. Wait, no, sorry. This is the last one for the Johto region. The scales it scatters will paralyze anyone who touches them, making that person unable to stand.
The scales?
Scales.
Okay.
Yes.
So if its scales fall off and you touch it, it paralyzes you.
Yes.
All right.
Again,
Interesting.
this poison only leaks out if you contact it and touch it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So again, wing or scales and powder, two different things, and that cause two different things. All right, let's move on to the Hoenn region. There's only 2 entries here, so it should be quick. Venomoth is nocturnal, and then it describes what a nocturnal Pokemon is. It is a Pokemon that only becomes active at night. It's weird that it just now decided to describe what nocturnal means, even though we've had a bunch of Pokemon already that are nocturnal.
I know.
Its favorite prey are small insects that gather around streetlights, attracted by the light in the darkness. Which, if you recall correctly, is exactly what Venonat did.
Right. Something similar. Yeah. So the evolution is carrying over.
Yeah, but Venonat's eyes were specifically designed to see small Pokemon in the dark, whereas Venomoths don't appear to be.
No, it just kind of chills in the darkness, looks to the light, and then it
Yeah.
attacks all the little baby insect Pokemon that are chilling.
So you could say that because it was a Venonat, when it started living in the darkness, it was born in the darkness. It
Yeah.
was molded by the darkness.
Molded by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't know about the lightness until it was already a Venomoth.
And by then, well, it only blinded him.
Right.
Butterfree, of course, only merely adopted the darkness,
Yeah.
while Venomoth was born.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Sure.
Okay. The last one here for the Hoenn region says, the wings are covered with dust-like scales. Every time it flaps its wings, it loses highly toxic dust.
No.
Ooh, same thing.
Highly.
It's the same thing.
Highly,
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Toxic this time.
One here in the center region. It says, it flutters its wings to scatter dust-like scales. The scales leach toxins if they contact skin. Yeah.
We've said that already, though, right? So, it's not spores. It's like scales that are falling off when it flaps its wings.
No. Well, okay, so it does kind of go back and forth, because this entry says it flutters its wings to scatter dust-like scales,
Yeah.
Right.
but then
Yeah.
it says that the scales on its wings are hard to remove. The powdery scales are hard to remove.
They're scales, but they're kind of powdery scales that when it flaps its wings. So it's kind of like it replenishes its scales all the time. You know what I mean? How we replenish our skin like once a year or something like that. I don't remember what it is, but it's like
Is that how that works?
I don't remember. But yeah,
need
it's
to
like
get new
I
skin.
think it's like every 7 years, like a human gets a new, completely like different layer of skin. And I think for Venomoth, it just does the same thing but faster on its wings, because its
weird.
scales
It's
are
weird
constantly dropping off and poisoning.
It's weird,
people.
Corbin, because nobody asked you.
All right.
So,
all right.
So it's weird that you're wasting time by telling us this.
Sure. All right. Cool.
I have to say, I'm certainly due for another set of skin at this point.
Yeah, yours is all used up.
Yeah, yours is pretty gross.
I've not gotten some new skin in several years. So
yeah, what's the mileage on that skin there, Curdy
I don't
boy?
think we want to know. I don't even want to know.
Man.
Okay.
He still has this baby skin. That's why he looks so stretched all the time.
Oh God, that's awful. Okay. Let me. So I think that last entry kind of confused us a little bit. I think it needs to be stated that there's still two different things. There's scales, and then there's powder on those scales. Those are separate because the scales can either poison you or paralyze you. Wait, no, what did I say? The powder can either poison or paralyze you, but the scales, if they contact your skin, will leach out poison that paralyzes you.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Sure.
Was that tracking? Is that making sense? Because otherwise, a lot of these entries contradict each other and just don't make sense.
Sure. That makes sense. Let's go with that.
Okay. Good. All right. There's one here. One last one here. Again, Unova, Kalos, Galar, they all let us down. Alola has only one entry. And it's very similar to what we've already read, but there's like an extra word here that kind of helps a little bit. It says, the powdery scales on its wings are hard to remove from skin. In other words, if they go into your skin, it's hard to remove them.
So the scales are hard to remove from your skin?
Yeah, and then it goes on to say they also contain poison that leaks out on contact.
Okay, so the scales, they can shed the powder and they can shed the scales.
Yes.
But if you get this, if you get the powder, you can be either paralyzed or poisoned depending on the color. But if you get the scales on you, they're hard to remove and they leach out toxins that paralyze you.
It sounds to me like there are probably like vessels or tubes or something in its wings that excrete paralyzing agent and a poisoning agent. However, the actual scales themselves are poisonous. So when it flaps its wings, it can send out either the light-colored paralysis powder or the dark-colored poisonous powder. But the actual scales themselves, they fall off and impale you, which sounds awful. It actually has poison in it.
Well, I don't know if it can decide what kind of poison or what kind of powder it puts on its wings.
Did it ever say that it could choose?
No, it didn't say that it could choose. It just says that the dust. It says the dust-like scales covering its wings are color-coded to indicate the kinds of poison it has. And then the one that talks about what that goes into more on that says, the powder on its wings is poisonous if it is dark in color. If it is light, it causes paralysis. It never says whether or not it can choose what kind of powder.
So I wonder if certain Venomoths can use like stun spore or something, and other ones can only use poison powder. Like
I wonder if maybe it's like a regional thing, or maybe females can only do poison, males can only do paralysis, or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Or maybe it's just a genetic thing. Like this family of Venomoths only do poison. That family of Venomoths only do paralysis. Or maybe it is a thing that, they can turn on and off. They can decide, hey, I want to be poison. I want to do poison now.
But you know what's not going to tell us? The Pokedex entries.
The Pokedex entries. We're all on our own here.
I think that after I finish my race of Super Spinnerax, there might be some room in the Venonat line to improve.
I think you should leave your Pokemon experimentations. How do I say this? The fuck alone. I think you should not do any anymore.
Just imagine if you could breed both lines into the same Venomoths. You could have poison and paralysis powder, one on each wing.
To be fair,
it could
Mr.
be
Curtis,
hitting you.
That may in fact already be how it works. Again, we don't know.
We don't.
No.
We don't know. We just know that the powder is color coded.
That's
and that
true.
It has that.
We won't know until we get a couple hundred generations in. That's all I have to say.
Oh my God, no.
You're really playing Arceus here, Mr. Curtis, and it's kind of scary. That nothing good ever comes from that.
Nope.
Okay. So that does it for the regional Pokedex entries. Let me go ahead and read the unique Pokedex entries. We have two here. The first one comes to us from Ash's Pokedex. It says, Venomoth, an evolved form of Venonat. Really weirdly stating that maybe there's another evolved form of Venonat.
Okay, all right.
The tiny scales on its wings disperse various spores when they are flapped. And then the last one here comes from Unknown. I'm not entirely sure who this comes from.
Not familiar with that person.
Well, their name isn't unknown. I don't know who they are.
Oh, okay, all right. Sorry.
The dust-like scales covering its wings are color-coded to indicate the kinds of poison it has. It has a short lifespan, and appears to be the evolved form of a Venonat.
Appears, huh? We don't know,
It
though.
just appears.
right.
Nobody's seen it happen.
Nope.
It just sometimes a Venonat will go into a cave, and out comes a Venomoth.
That's our best guess, really.
So that first one you read, though,
Yeah.
that came from who was it? Who was the first one?
Ash.
Oh, okay. Of course, it's Ash. Of course, I should have just assumed. So that one said spores, though, instead of powder.
Wait, did it say spores? It did say various spores, didn't it?
Oh.
Again, to be fair, there is precedence that Ash's Pokedex does like to play tricks on him. So
Yeah.
I would go by the national, like the regional Pokedex entries.
Yeah, I wouldn't listen to Ash, who can't even beat a fucking Pokemon League. Oh, wait, no, didn't he beat Nolola?
He did. He has done that, yes.
He did beat the... Okay, well, I've heard they're one of the easier ones, so
I mean, to be fair, it's all within his first year of Pokemon training, so it's very impressive.
A lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work. A lot of regions he's visited in that 1 year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that does it for the Pokedex entries. A lot of really conflicting ideas in all of those. I think they could really use like I think I need to call a meeting of all the like Pokemon professors in all the different regions, and we need to just kind of sit down and kind of really just decide on what Venomoth can actually do, because there seems to be a lot of confusion here.
Yeah.
Well, I'd be happy to invite them all to the next interregional gathering of the Interregional League of Assistants to Professionalism.
Name
Was that the
changes
entire
every
name?
time.
Wait, was that the entire name, or did you mess it up halfway through and start over?
I think it just changes every time.
The name of the league is the
Yeah, do it
Interregional League of Assistants to Professionalism.
Okay.
Damn.
So I did stutter on assistant there, but that's the name of the league.
So, like, it's not just, like, Pokemon professors. It's, like, anything that's, like, professional.
Right. An assistant to... Yeah, right.
So it's in, like, you might have, like, somebody who's, like, learning how to weld or something. Somebody who assists a welder would
Yeah, well... Yeah, I suppose they could, but I mean, as long as they're a professional, and we do get some like, assistants to the Nurse Joy Corporation. We do get some.
The Nurse Joy Corp. Do you mean Pokemon centers?
He's got his own name for everything these days.
Pokemon centers are like the generic term, but really all of the.
Nurse Joy Corporation is the brand.
The Nurse Joy Corporation owns all the Poke centers. It's basically a monopoly.
There's other kinds of Pokemon centers. It's just that the Nurse Joy Corporation has such a monopoly on them that when we think of it, we just think of Pokemon centers.
Yes, of course, of course.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. We're wasting everybody's time not talking about Pokemon biology, so I'm gonna get back to doing that. I'm going to do it with this unsourced, uncredited article.
Yeah, shut up,
found.
Curtis.
So, yeah, well, yeah, I guess in less polite words, shut up, Curtis.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
I'll be quieter.
Venomoth is an insectoid Pokemon whose body is varying shades of purple. Its head and thorax are light purple, and it has bulbous, round, light blue eyes, a small mandible, and a 3-point crest on its head. Tucked close to its thorax are 3 pairs of tiny, whitish legs. Its abdomen is paler with several black, zigzagging stripes encircling it. It has 2 pairs of pale purple wings with thin black venation. I guess are those like...
Is that where it comes from? The venation?
Yeah, those are the
Venomoth Nation?
The lines that you see in the wings that are
okay. I thought that was a place.
They're like veins, basically.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Yeah, Mr. Curse has seen a lot of veins in his day.
I mean, I am the resident insectologist.
These wings are covered in dust-like scales that vary in color depending on their toxic capability. dark scales are poisonous, while lighter scales can cause paralysis. Again, this is incorrect. This is not true. It's the powder on the scales that can cause this, not the scales themselves.
Oh, crap.
These scales are released when Venomoth flutters its wings and leak out poison once they make contact with the skin. Venomoth lives in dense temperate forests with thick undergrowth and a little light. As a nocturnal Pokemon, Venomoth comes out at night to hunt for its favorite prey. It prefers to feed on insects that gather around light, and Venomoth is attracted to bright lights itself. All right, and that does it for the entry.
That's it.
Article.
All right.
That does it.
All right.
It's over. We're done.
No. Well, okay. I know this lesson has been a little bit confusing. We've had a lot of conflicting ideas here, but regardless, I still need to quiz you on them. So go ahead and put away your Pokedexes, get out your Rotom laptop, so we get out a pencil or a pen. And you know what?
I'm ready.
Let's just get this quiz behind us. All right, let's get it over.
Fine. Let's just get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off now. Spank me while you're at it.
No, I will not do that.
All right.
Anyways, all right. So is everybody ready?
I have never been
ready.
more ready for anything.
Let's go, Professor.
All right. Question number 1: which parts of a Venomoth are poisonous? Listen, I expect you both to do very well in this quiz. To be honest, none of these are particularly difficult questions. I feel it's there's not that much about Venomoth. I really feel like. All right. Both of the answers are now in. I have no edited answers, so we're good there. Corbin responded with the scales on its wings and the spores on those wings.
Okay, spores. Interesting word.
Interesting
choices.
wording. I'll have to determine if it's correct or not. Mr. Curtis responded with the powder on the scales of the Venomoth is the poisonous. The scales are not poisonous. They leak toxin that paralyze people. I mean,
I don't know about that.
They are still poisonous, Mr. Curtis. It's just that the poison paralyzes people.
I'm pretty certain that never once in the Pokédex entries it says the scales are poisonous.
I mean, if there's poison in them and they hurt you, then it's poisonous.
It just says that
the powdery scales on its wings are hard to remove from the skin. They also contain poison that leaks out on contact.
That means they're poisonous.
Poison.
I don't. But
poison. That
You're
Venomoth
done.
is poison.
Get him out. Get him out.
Okay, you know what?
I don't know. It says it leaks poison. Not
that means it's still poisonous. If it leaks poison,
I think that's verbiage.
If there's a Pokemon that excretes poison, are you gonna say it's not a poisonous Pokemon? It is. You would say that it is.
Yeah, and like a poison can paralyze you. That can be one of the effects of the poison.
Right.
So it is poisonous.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, the scales are definitely poisonous. That's just straight up wrong.
All
Mr.
right.
Curtis.
You each. Corbin, you were also wrong. It's not spores, it's powder. There's a few
What's the difference?
things.
What's the difference? I want to know.
Spores are like seeds. They
really? I thought they used the word spores a few times in the Pokedex entries.
They have. Not in this. They did. Okay, listen, they did, but it was Ash's Pokedex and it was wrong.
Oh, fine. All right.
So I'm giving you each. You guys gang 3/4 of the points for this one.
Okay, fine. Fine.
So I've never done that before, but I'm doing it now.
This is the first for everything.
All right, Professor.
Yeah.
Professor, whatever you say goes.
And whatever I say goes. All right.
Depends.
Question number 2. All right, this is one of my favorite types of questions where it's the fill in the blanks, but you can like fill it in twice and it makes 2 different sentences.
Oh boy.
Oh goodness.
It's easy though. It's easy.
Do you have to do 4 answers then?
It's you're filling in 4 blanks that make 2 answers.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
I'm ready.
All right, we've done this a couple times before. I feel like you guys get it by now.
Let's do it.
All right, the sentence is, if the powder is blank, it will blank on contact. And so you can fill that out twice. All right, both of the answers are in. Let me go ahead and give them a quick old read. As I normally do for these fill in the blank questions, I'm just going to take their answers and I'm going to throw them into the blanks. Mm-hmm. If Venomoth's powder is light, this is Corbin's answer, by the way.
Yes, yeah, it is.
If Venomoth's powder is light, it will paralyze on contact. And the second sentence is, if Venomoth's powder is dark, it will poison on contact. All right? Let's move on to Mr. Curtis's answer. He says, If the powder is dark, it will poison on contact. If the powder is light, it will paralyze on contact. Yes,
Curtis, it was supposed to be light and then paralyzed first. You got it wrong, buddy. Sorry.
No, it doesn't matter which order you fill it out there, Corbin. All right.
I'm just playing.
Yeah, it's just like you. If it's okay, Curtis, it's just like you. Calm down, Mr. Curtis. It's just like you.
No, listen. I trust the professor. The professor, whatever he say goes.
Have you ever noticed that he like super double downs on that whenever I tell him he got a question wrong?
Yeah, he's a big kiss butt.
So I put myself in the professor's hands, and only in his hands.
My soft hands.
Okay, all right, can we keep going, please?
Sorry. Okay. Question number 3. What are Venomoth's favorite prey?
Can you shut up, Mr. Curtis, please?
For once.
I'm
Did you
sorry.
guys both get that, or should I read it again?
I'd love for you to read it again. Would love it.
Okay.
Professor, there's no need to read it again and hurt your voice. I heard every word that you said.
What was it? What's Venomoth's favorite prey?
I mean, I don't need to say it again. So.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
All right, both the answers are in. The first one here from Corbin says, the question, what are Venomoth's favorite prey? He said that its favorite prey is small insects chilling by lights at night.
That's right.
And Mr. Curtis says, Venomoth love to prey on the small insects that gather around lights at night. So yeah, I mean, you guys both said the exact same thing. It's said they're attracted to prey that are attracted to the light at night, even though itself is also attracted to lights at night, and so is Venonat. I wonder if it ever gets confused and tries to eat like a Venonat.
Oh, that would suck. It's like eating its baby.
I don't know.
That'd be sad. Okay, last question. Now this is the hard one, guys.
Oh, boy.
Not really. It's about as easy as the last couple ones.
Okay, never mind.
What is the on-contact effect of Venomoth's poisonous scales?
What is the on-contact effect?
Yes, on-contact effect. Like, what happens to you when it contacts you? So, the question again is, what is the on-contact effect of Venomoth's poisonous scales? Corbin responded, releases poison from the scales into the prey's body, and they get very sick or die. Okay? Mr. Curtis responded with, the scales paralyze anyone who come in contact with them. So that is the correct. Paralysis is the correct answer.
Right. Fuck.
Again, so the powder can either poison, like just
But the scales themselves paralyze. I forgot.
The scales will always paralyze, according to the Pokemon series. So unfortunately, that is a wrong answer for Corbin. Yeah, but a correct answer from Mr. Curtis. All right. So yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Not your best quiz, but definitely not your worst. So great job all around, and that does it for today's lesson. So before I go, I just want to let all the students at home who are listening at home know that if they have questions for me, they can contact me at wwopokemon@gmail.com, which is of course my Gengar Mail account. If you don't have Gengar Mail, I'm also on Twitter, which everybody knows as the flying Pokemon-themed social network site. I'm there at wwopokemon as well. If you enjoyed this lesson and you want to just spread it out to as many people as possible, you can do that on Flapple Podcasts, or just singular Flapple Podcast. Some people just call it Apple Podcasts.
That's not right though. That's a spelling mistake.
Yeah, so if you've only ever heard it as Apple Podcast, that's fine. That's probably where you want to go. But that does it for today's lesson. Does anybody know who we're talking about next time?
Oh, Ditto.
No. Well, I mean, kind of. In a sense, we're always talking about Ditto because Ditto can be every Pokemon.
That's true.
I'm gonna
Piglet.
Close.
I'm gonna say it's a Wurmple. I'm feeling like it's another bug type Pokemon, and
that is close to Piglet. You might be right.
That was definitely a Hail Mary there, Mr. Curtis, and it did not pay off. That was completely incorrect.
Okay.
Diglett? Is it Diglett?
Kricketune then?
Yes, we're learning about Diglett.
Kricketune! Oh, I'm so excited to talk about Kricketune.
Eventually we'll talk about Kricketune. Maybe. So yeah, next time we'll be learning about Diglett, which is the little ground type Pokemon. But until then, class is dismissed.
Welcome to the World of Pokemon is a part of the Pokecasters Network.